Dregs, Pierre, and Frank are your insiders. Only a handful more insider tradings until Trade Center 3 weeks away. It's no secret the Leafs are looking for a top six forward. And Frank, do we have a favorite now in the most desired list, or at least the best fit?
Yeah, James, after scouring the league, I believe the Leafs' primary target at this point is Nashville Predators forward Mikael Granlund. Now, there have been a number of complicating factors that have popped up, including, number one, the fact that the Leafs are waiting for some clarity from the NHL as to whether this 14-day quarantine will be reduced to 7 days. They've actually been spearheading the charge among the 7 Canadian teams to see whether that'll happen or not. And number two, there seems to be some slight hesitation on the part of the Nashville Predators as the Chicago Blackhawks have come back to earth here as to whether they're still in the race or not. So not sure if it's fair to say that the Preds are pulling their players off of the market. It just seems like at this point there's more wait and see mode rather than sell mode. And I can tell you this, the Toronto Maple Leafs, if things don't get going soon, are going to have to consider plan B, C, or D on the list.
Yeah, and keeping with the Predators, Frank, obviously the big name on the trade bait list from the Predators remains Mattias Ekholm, the most talented defenseman on the market. And he doesn't come cheap. According to people around the league that I've talked to over the last couple of days, it is a 3-asset ask to get in on the bidding for Mattias Ekholm, which is a first-round pick, an elite prospect, and a third asset, which it can take on different forms. That's a lot. And part of that is that the Nashville Predators don't have to trade Mattias Ekholm at this deadline. He's signed through next season. And really, there's also, I think, the internal debate for Nashville. Is their best offer at this deadline when contending teams believe they can get Ekholm for 2 playoff runs? Or is it after the July expansion draft when teams who are interested in him no longer have to worry about their protection issues? So a lot to consider here for Ekholm and the Predators closing in on April 12th.
Guys, Tyler Toffoli and Tanner Pearson have had these remarkably similar career paths. They're the kids on that LA team that wins the Cup in 2014. Years later, Toffoli ends up in Vancouver, doesn't stay there. Canucks fans still unhappy about that. Now Pearson's in Vancouver. Will he stick around, Dregs?
Well, we're going to find out in the near future here, James. What we know is that the Vancouver Canucks play the Winnipeg Jets on Wednesday, and then after that, they've got a well-earned rest. Everyone outside of general manager Jim Benning, he is going to be hard at it. He's going to connect with Joe Resnick, who represents Tanner Pearson, to discuss what a contract extension needs to look like. Now, Tanner Pearson earns $3.75 million. This is the final year of his contract. So do the Vancouver Canucks have the wherewithal to meet that or go above $3.75 million? Again, discussions about to get going, and then it's up to the Vancouver Canucks to decide what happens with Pearson after that.
We don't spend a ton of time on Arizona on insider trading. It seems like they've been in a build forever. Took some steps forward and now some steps back again. And does Bill Armstrong, Dregs, if not want to rebuild again, reshape his roster?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to use the word rebuild, James, but he wants to make some changes, and perhaps some significant changes. Not a fire sale for the Arizona Coyotes, just a strong appetite for different. And we're potentially talking about core players. It's not going to be easy. Most, if not all of this, probably isn't going to get done between now and the trade deadline. It'll drift into the offseason, but the Arizona Coyotes, for obvious reasons, are looking for long-term improvement and willing to discuss just about anything on the trade front.
And Dregs, just a quick update on the goalie market as well. Speaking of Arizona, Darcy Kemper, lots of teams curious about his health and availability. Not sure a trade happens before the deadline, but it's certain that Kemper will be healthy and back in the Coyotes lineup before the deadline hits. And also Jonathan Bernier, number 5 on our trade bait board from Detroit. He's day to day. So if you're looking for a goalie, there's 2 that could be on the board and in play.
It's funny, Arizona's not out of it, 6 points out of a playoff spot, but they seem a world away from the Vegas and Colorado and the other teams they're chasing in that division.